So what if I told you that one of the best tools for building stronger muscles after 60 isn't some fancy supplement, but it's actually hiding in your refrigerator? In this explainer, we're going to talk about a food that, let's be honest, many of us have been told to avoid. We're talking about cheese, and it turns out it could be exactly what you need. Yep, you heard me right. Let's get into it.
I mean, really think about it for a second. How many times have you skipped the cheese board at a gathering thinking, oh, that's too indulgent for me? Well, what if that very same food could be a powerful partner in keeping you strong, active, and able to do all the things you love? It's a pretty cool idea, and it just might change the way you look at your grocery list.
For as long as I can remember, cheese has had this reputation, right? We're taught that it's just too fatty, too salty, a guilty pleasure. But the reality, when you actually look at the science, is totally different. The right kinds of cheese are absolutely loaded with powerful proteins and essential minerals, making them a true muscle-supporting superfood.
Now, to really get why this is such a game changer, we need to talk about a little something that happens to all of us as we get older. And don't worry, this isn't anything to be afraid of, it's just a natural part of life that we can absolutely get ahead of with the right strategy.
It's got a fancy scientific name, sarcopenia, but all it really means is the natural, age-related loss of muscle. You know, it's the reason why carrying the groceries in from the car or just climbing a flight of stairs might feel a little tougher than it used to. But here is the really hopeful part. This is not a one-way street. We can fight back, and food is our #1 weapon.
All right, let's meet our first cheesy hero. I like to call this one the gentle builder because it's so easy on your system, but man, is it effective.
And that hero is cottage cheese. I know, it might bring back memories of old-school diet plates, but I'm telling you, it's time to give it another look. For adults over 60, this stuff is an absolute nutritional powerhouse. Just check this out. You get a whopping 14 grams of high-quality protein in just half a cup. Think about that. That's a massive dose of muscle-building fuel without having to eat a huge meal. It's incredibly efficient.
But it gets even better. Cottage cheese is packed with an amino acid called leucine, which is basically the on switch for muscle repair. And because it's mostly made of something called casein, it digests slowly. It's like a time-released fuel pellet for your muscles, giving them a steady stream of nutrients for hours. Plus, it's soft, easy to eat, and you can mix it with pretty much anything.
Okay, moving on to cheese #2. This one is what I call the nutrient concentrate. If you want the biggest bang for your buck in a small package, this is the one for you. It's Parmesan, and we're not just talking about a little sprinkle on your spaghetti. Real, freshly grated Parmesan cheese is one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can find. Get this, a single ounce, and that's a piece about the size of your thumb, delivers a massive 10 grams of protein. This makes it absolutely perfect for those of us who want to boost our protein without feeling overly full. Because Parmesan is aged for so long, the proteins are already broken down, which makes them super easy for your body to absorb. It's also really low in lactose. And on top of all that, that tiny 1-ounce serving gives you a full quarter of your daily calcium, which your muscles need to contract properly. And that brings us to our third and final cheese hero. This one is the fast helper, and it's earned that name because of how quickly it gets to work repairing your muscles. We are talking about ricotta cheese. Now, ricotta is special because it's made from whey protein. Whey is the liquid that's left over when other cheeses are made, and it creates a totally different kind of protein than what we find in cottage cheese. Now, it has the same amount of protein as cottage cheese, about 14 grams in a half cup, but it's the type of protein that's the real game changer here. If cottage cheese is the slow and steady fuel, ricotta's whey protein is like high-octane rocket fuel that gets into your system almost immediately. That super fast absorption makes ricotta the perfect food to eat right after a bit of activity. We're talking after a walk, after doing some gardening. It rushes all those repair nutrients right to your muscles exactly when they're craving them the most. And hey, it's smooth, mild, and usually lower in salt, which is always a plus. Okay, so now we know our 3 hero cheeses. But just knowing what to eat isn't enough. To really get the most out of them, we need to talk about when to eat them. So let's build a smart, simple strategy.
Here's the secret sauce. Timing is everything. A lot of us save our biggest protein meal for dinner, but that's not ideal. Our muscles respond way better when we spread that protein and take out across the whole day. And breakfast is absolutely crucial. It literally flips the switch in your body from breaking down muscle overnight to building it back up for the day ahead.
So what's the magic number?
Well, research shows that for older adults, the sweet spot is right around 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. That seems to be the amount needed to really kickstart that muscle-building process. And as you've seen, a good serving of these cheeses gets you a huge part of the way there.
And here's how you put it all into overdrive. You pair this smart nutrition with a little bit of movement. And look, we are not talking about going to the gym for 2 hours. Simple, everyday activities are what wake up your muscles. Things like getting up and down from a chair, doing some push-ups against a wall, or even just climbing the stairs. When you do that, and then you eat some protein, you're giving your muscles the building blocks they need right when they're ready to use them. It's a perfect partnership.
So let's make this super simple. Here's a plan you can literally start today. 1. Go buy some cottage cheese, Parmesan, and ricotta. 2. Try to work a serving of one of them into each of your main meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3. Combine that with some light, regular movement. And 4. Be patient and stay consistent. Give it about 3 months and you're likely to feel a real difference.
You see, losing muscle strength doesn't have to be an inevitable part of getting older. By giving your body the right fuel at the right times, you can empower yourself to stay strong and independent. It's a fantastic reminder that sometimes the best solutions aren't complicated at all. Sometimes they're delicious and they've been waiting for us in the dairy aisle this whole time.